James here from goodguitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Now, this is actually the easiest Christmas song that you can play on guitar, and the cool thing about it is it uses like the 4 magic beginner chords. This is something that most teachers rely on. There's a bunch of songs that use it, but basically, this is our starting chord, and then we leave these 2 fingers down, and we only have to move these ones to get our next chord. And same thing again. So we get to leave these 2 fingers down the whole time. And that's what makes these like the ultra beginner chords. You can play tons of songs with them, and if you're just getting started, you'll probably be able to have this song ready for Christmas. Now, the one catch, in exchange for getting to use such easy chord shapes for this song, if you want to play along to the original recording, which I highly recommend, that's how you get the song together, if you can play with the original recording. If you want to do that, you have to get a capo on the 2nd fret. We're not going to do that. For this lesson, we're going to do it normally, just in case you don't have a capo. But if you do have a capo, after the lesson, try to play along with the original recording, put your capo on the 2nd fret, and it'll sound like the song. So we're going to get started with the chord shapes. Then we're going to practice playing them in order, counting them out just to get it all right. Then we're going to add some strumming, and then we're going to play it together nice and slow. And that's what we're going to do in this lesson. We're going to start off with those chord shapes. Our first one is G. And from there, we switch to D sus4. And this is a super easy switch. We just need to take off these 2 fingers and put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. That's our next chord shape. And when you're strumming this one, make sure to avoid the bottom 2 strings. You just want to get these 4. It's not a big deal if you get this one, but you really don't want to get the low E. And for that, I recommend just getting your thumb lightly over it and lightly touching that string. It'll mute it. Next up, we have E minor 7. So we're going to put our 2 fingers right here on the 2nd fret of the A string and the 2nd fret of the D string. And then finally, we have a C add 9 chord, which looks like this. So my middle finger is on the A string at the 3rd fret, and my first finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string. This looks a lot like G. If you just make that first G chord, and you move these 2 fingers down that way, that's C add 9. And once again, for this one, you want to try to get your thumb lightly touching that low string, just so you don't accidentally get it. See, if you get it, it doesn't sound so great. So that's it. Those are the 4 easy chords that we can take advantage of if you're a beginner. And in my beginner course, we have a whole section on these. We kind of work towards them and then we build up from them. So if you're having trouble with these chord shapes, but you want to get it together, I do recommend checking out the free trial for that. There's a link down below. Also, there's a link for my free ebook covering all the basics of rhythm guitar, and that's definitely worth checking out. Anyways, take a moment with those chord shapes, because now we're going to practice playing them in order, counting out the number of beats. We're just going to use downstrokes only and just worry about making the switches. That's all we're working on right now. So let's try it nice and slow. Starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3. Switch to D, 2, 1, 2, 3, E minor. Going to C. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're counting out loud with me. Back to G. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. D. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And C. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So if you can do that, it means that your chord hand is doing its job. It's making the switches cleanly on beat 1. And if you're not able to do it, just take some more time with it. You might have to just work out the switches one at a time, just silently, just practicing that, until you can get your fingers in the right spots quickly. I would do this maybe 20 times for each chord switch every day, and in 7 days, I guarantee you're gonna have it together. And this is the kind of thing that I do with my students, that I do in my course. This is what will actually make you better. You know, it's not what you're practicing, it's how you're practicing it. You could be practicing a children's song, but if you're doing it right, you will be getting better at everything. You know, these are the foundations of guitar. Anyways, once you have that together, we can take a look at the rhythm. And the rhythm for this one is pretty straightforward. It goes like this. I'll do it really slow now. 3 and 4 and. Now, as far as the downstrokes and upstrokes are concerned, this is actually a pretty easy strumming pattern. Let's start with that, and then I'll show you how to make it sound right with all the palm muting and everything. So I'm on a G chord here. The first motion I do is a low strum. I call that a root strum. That's why there's an R there. We're just hitting the roots of the notes, or of the chords. You know, so on G, you aim there, because that's the lowest string. On D, you aim here, because that's the lowest string in the chord, the thickest string in the chord. For E minor, it's this zone. And then for C, it's right here. And this is why it's helpful to mute with your thumb over the top, because you can still kind of just aim for the bottom on all the chords. You don't have to worry. You know, it's just, at that point, all you have to think about is, I need to do a small stroke instead of a big one. Anyways, we start off with a small stroke, then a downstroke, then we rest on beat 3, and on beat 4 we do another downstroke. So just the first half, if we count it out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really, really simple. I want you to try that. Count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just lining up the strokes with the counting. And now the second half is pretty much the same thing, except it ends a little differently. So we start off the same way. Root, down, rest, and then we go down, up on beat 4. Down, up. That's it. So it goes root, down, rest, down, up. If we count that out, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So take a look at the whole thing, work on each half, then try putting it together like this. 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And once you can do that reliably many times in a row over just a single chord, we can add the finishing touches. So instead of this, we get. Now to do that requires a little bit of finesse, but it's not that difficult. All I'm doing, like the main difference, is instead of just strumming the strings openly, I'm actually getting my hand to touch the strings right here before my pick hits the strings. So it's like they're both landing, and the hand lands first, and then the pick lands. The hand, then the pick. That's the main difference. So having my chord shape, and if I aim for, say, the top strings versus the bottom strings versus trying to get all of them, you know, if this is tough for you, you just have to experiment with the most basic motions. You know, just sometimes they'll ring out, oh, I'm not getting it right. But all you gotta consider is the side of your hand, the fleshy part of your palm, needs to hit the strings right before your pick does. When you're doing it slowly, it sounds like this. But once you speed it up, it has the right sound. You know, that's what you're looking for. And when we apply that to our entire strumming pattern, this is what we get. So take your time with that, and you don't have to do the palm muting. That's just optional. It's something that makes it sound exactly like the recording, but you know, you don't have to worry about that if you're not ready for it yet. Yeah, you know, it is something that will come. Just be conscious about it and relax and enjoy yourself. You know, that's what'll make it sound good. This song has a really relaxed, happy vibe, because the musician playing it, the guitarist on the recording, knows how to put that into his playing, and he probably felt that way. So remember to do that. This is like supposed to be fun and enjoyable. Don't get too hung up on it. Anyways, once you have that strumming pattern down, or at least the motions of it, and you can count it out, and you tried it over every chord shape, we can try to put it together with the entire chord progression in order. And we're going to do the strumming pattern one time over each chord, then switch to the next chord. So it's really, really simple. Same chords, same order, same pattern over each chord. Let's try it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that's how you play Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. And if you were able to play through that last play along, totally fine. Now the next step is to go play along with the original recording. And if you want to do that, you have to get your capo on the 2nd fret. If you're a more advanced student and you're able to play bar chords, you could actually play this song with 3 open chords and a bar chord using A, E, F sharp minor, and then D. Either way, I highly recommend practicing along with the recording now, and then after that, maybe printing off the lyrics and trying to get through the song on your own all the way through. This song's the same thing over and over, so that should not be a problem. Otherwise, I hope you have a fun time practicing. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon.